Unicorns are not a myth. What else we got?
Probably because
Unicorns are not a myth, Spencer.
Bro, they're literally rhinoceroses. Tell me I'm wrong.
Hello! Welcome back to Sometimes Shivana Slaps.
How are you guys?
I'm doing great.
That's good. I wasn't asking you. Thank you.
Thanks, great. I'm Jubes.
No, literally.
I'm Mac.
I'm Jubes, and this is Sometimes Shivana Slaps.
Where we talk all things holistic wellness in a little bit of a chaotic way.
Yes, and it has been like a few months since we recorded, so apologies if this is just a little bit frantic.
Mm-hmm.
But be good though.
We're thriving. I just want to start quickly with saying thank you so much for all the love on the first 6 episodes. It has been phenomenal.
Oh my gosh, we're killing it.
And tomorrow is a month from launch date, which is really
very exciting.
Crazy how fast
It's
that month
kind of,
went.
I know, I was like, oh my gosh, it's okay. We have like 6 episodes. That'll take so long. And now I'm like, we need to record.
Yeah. So this is gonna be good.
This is gonna be good.
I hope.
I'm excited. I can't believe it. I think YouTube was like 300 and some views, which is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
And Michaela put up a story tonight that we have like 186 downloads, which hopefully is at 200 tomorrow.
200 tomorrow will be phenomenal because tomorrow's my 200 workout class at F45 as well.
Yay!
And it's the 1 month from launch. And so if we can get to 200 views,
It's a big day.
that would be a lot of 2s I'm down for.
That would be so dope.
I mean, it'd be even better if it was our 2nd month, but like...
Well, I mean, hey,
You know.
we'll aim for like 2,000 for our
Yeah.
2nd month.
You guys
Just a
heard it
nice
here first.
low bar.
Yeah. October 31st.
You get us to 2,000, baby. Because then, if we get 1,000 downloads in a month, we can make money.
Yeah. We are only in it for the money. No.
That's gonna translate well to the audio. So how are you doing, Mac?
I'm thriving.
That's good.
Thriving.
Like,
very busy.
really?
Semi-sarcastically.
I just wanted to double check.
No, I'm good. Since our last recording, I downloaded Hinge again.
Oh yeah.
Which is a roller coaster of a ride.
It's really fun to ride along with you.
Almost every day I'm sending Jubes, like, look at this wild fucking message I just received.
Literally. Like, look at this. And I just like hype her up.
Yeah. I'm collecting stories, and then we'll do a Mac Unhinged segment.
I know, it's gonna be so much fun.
Where I just share the most wild things. So. How are you, Jubes?
Good. I think.
Kind of numb.
I had a long day.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of riding out the wave of nothingness because I literally haven't had a chance to just like sit and be chill since 6:15 this morning. So I'm just gonna ride that through this episode. But no, I've been pretty good since the last time we recorded. I went on a fantastic vacation with my mom, and it was super duper fun. And then I literally was like, oh my gosh, I have so many stories I want to tell you guys. But then it would be like, okay, we don't need to record yet. And then I forgot them all.
Naturally.
But I had a fun day on Monday. And by fun, I mean not so fun. So most of those stories are going to come up in this episode, actually. I have a whole bunch that I haven't even told Michaela.
See, we're actually withholding from each other now. You're welcome.
It was very difficult to not like text you immediately. This is what's going on in my life.
I'm excited.
I know, it'll be pretty good.
I'm excited.
And on that note, transition, our topic is self-awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And part of self-awareness, can anyone watch this on YouTube? My face, I am interested in what Judy has to say. I've become painfully self-aware at the fact that I look like I am not having it.
It's okay. Because I can see, like, when I look at you, that you're, like, absorbing and, like, thinking about and, like, listening to me. But as soon as I watch it back on the video, she just looks like... and I'm like, okay.
Not here for it.
Wow, am I boring you?
Fucking checked out. Somewhere in Costa Rica.
Literally, Michaela's just in her happy place away from me.
Wah, 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 wah.
Yes.
Cue the ocean waves.
Literally. The pina
But yeah.
gets caught in the rain.
And you're not fucking not at midnight.
Okay, is the next line, and you have half a brain? Because that's what I hear, and I'm like, so I'm just like belting it out of my car, and you have half a brain, and I just really hope that's actually the...
Oh my goodness.
Okay, well, anyway.
And on that note, self-awareness. What is self-awareness? Google definition
According to Google.
is conscious knowledge of one's own character and feelings.
Yes.
So basically, if you're not delusional, you're likely self-aware.
Yeah, you're basically just... Thank you. It's the ability to understand your own emotions and how they affect you, pretty much, and why you're feeling what you're feeling, kind of. So you can kind of just, like, understand your thoughts, feelings, behaviors, and actions a little bit better. Which I think is a very important skill to have, and I know that it's one that I'm really trying to, like, work towards, because understanding how I feel is going to help me in all of my relationships. And so I won't need Michaela to be like, hey Jubes, what's up? I can just be like, Mac, I'm stressed.
Yeah.
This is my emotion. This is what I need from you. And even with Bryce, I can be like, hi, I feel like I need this.
Yeah.
And we can be like, okay, great. And then let's work on that.
Yeah. Part of what we're going to be referencing today is from actually a course that I started 2 days ago, which is like chapter 2 in this course, and I'm like, wow, everything about emotions. So the book I'm referencing from is Cultivating Wholeness by Carolyn DuPont.
Do you need more room?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm good.
Feel free to spread out.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm very self-aware right now. No, but part of it is, like, with self-awareness is recognizing how emotions show up, like, in your body, right? So often, if you're angry, it usually arises with the perception of violation, injustice, or frustration related to something that you want.
Right.
Happiness comes from the expectation of physical and emotional gain. Anxiety and fear arises with perception of threat or danger. And sadness with the perception of loss.
Right.
The key word in those descriptions is perception.
Okay.
Right? Everything comes from the way that you perceive it to be.
Yeah.
To the stimuli and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, and this is where self-awareness can kind of help create situations to be less anxiety-driven or less fear-based, is if you rewire how you perceive them to be.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is, like, key in finding, like, mental peace.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly.
100%.
Bitterness shows where you need to heal. Resentment shows where you're living in the past. Discomfort shows that you need to pay attention to right now, because you're given the opportunity to change. Disappointment shows that you tried for something.
Yeah.
So, breaking emotions down into kind of tangible, like, oh, I felt this because I did this,
Yeah.
might cause some anxiety at first, but then once you work through that.
And see, that's kind of what I found. I found that even just naming what I'm feeling helps me process and understand what triggered that emotion. I found that has really, really helped me.
Yeah. And a lot of the way you interpret everything does come from, like, core belief systems that you acquire as a kid.
Yeah.
Kids are very, this is, again, going back to childhood self, and this is tale as old as time, but it's really good.
Yeah.
Kids very much mirror what their parents are shown. And so in order for that kind of cycle, if it is a poor cycle, to be broken, you need to know how to recognize it and do the work so that you don't pass it on further, because the child's brain is very tangible, and they're learning by example, and they don't have the groundwork to be like, oh, mom's just upset. It's like, no, I did something wrong. And so you tend to swallow it. And that's gonna come.
Oh, do you?
Do you want to speak on that?
No? I think I said enough.
You tend to swallow it, and then you're gonna have this narrative in your head, which is part of the idea of a core belief.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, I have to walk on eggshells because I'm gonna make someone upset.
People pleasing.
Yeah, it does come from it.
That's
People
my
pleasing.
biggest. That's why I people please, is because the only way that I think that I feel appreciated or valued is if I'm like a yes man.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm just gonna say whatever because that way you'll be friends with me. You know, like, I've never been secure in myself and in like a relationship to like romantic or platonic, like, to set that boundary or even just say like, no, I actually don't agree with that at all, for fear of hurting your feelings and having you then leave me. So maybe it's an abandonment thing, not so much people pleasing, but I think they are definitely very interrelated. Hi, welcome, this is Journey's Inner Soul.
No, well, it is, like, because abandonment is like, you just want to be liked, and so you're willing to do whatever it takes to be liked, so that you're not lonely.
And the weird thing about my abandonment issues is that I've had them since I was a baby. Like, my mom remembers me like watching Finding Nemo and like freaking out about it because I was so afraid that I was going to be like Nemo and lose my mom and dad.
So that's funny because, I mean, there was some talk, this isn't like scientific, factual, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But there is talk about either, you want to call it energy, right? In the whole energy realm of like a past life, that would be like a past life, like you were abandoned and you're carrying it into this life. Or there's some kind of genetic, like generational trauma and stuff that passes on through your genes that would cause that.
Yeah, I feel like it's both. But I also feel like because of how my brother was when he grew up, how he was so afraid of us being kidnapped, and then me being afraid of us being like abandoned, and my sister just afraid of people. It's like this weird.
You guys really thrived in the.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
In the homeschool farm environment. I don't mean that in a bad way, but like,
no, like,
if all three of you have social anxieties of sorts, fears of other people.
Well, like, I was so afraid of my sister just getting taken because she's just so little and cute. And so then I would just like, we're in the mall and I'm like, you hold my hand. And you do not let it go. Even now, she's 18 and we go to the mall and I hold her hand. It's literally a reflex. Like, I can't walk through a mall without holding my sister's hand because I'm so afraid that even now I'm just gonna lose her.
You're gonna be one hell of a helicopter parent.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I really need to work on it, and I'm really trying to, but I'm failing really bad.
You're gonna have your kids with leashes.
I am, because they're gonna be little terrors. Have you met my boyfriend?
Turn into a shock collar for
This is bad. Get off that counter.
We don't promote shock collars on children on SCS. We don't promote.
Disclaimers. I would never shock my children, but I would put them on a leash. And I'm okay with that being on the internet. Okay, anyway. Let's reel it back.
Oh my gosh. But, yeah, so basically this comes from also a lot of ego, right? A lot of ego plays into your self-awareness, right? And if you want to be lack of, more so, because your ego is what helps you cope with the context of your environment. And so that's where if you put up those defense mechanisms, if you ignore all your problems and whatnot, that's your ego coming out. And there actually is in the book that I'm reading right now for my course, Byron Katie has a Judge Your Neighbor worksheet, to help address uncomfortable emotions.
Yeah.
And the main kind of questions that are on this sheet is, well, first off, is it true?
Okay.
Right? So...
Is like your emotion true?
Yeah, so name a thing that would cause you anxiety or an uncomfortable emotion.
Okay.
Name a scenario.
Okay, so say that I was turning left at a red light, and instead of turning onto the lane, I went where I thought the lane was, and it was dead end, not even a road.
Okay.
Because I did that. Okay. And it caused me a lot of anxiety.
Okay, well, is it true? Is that anxiety true?
It was very embarrassing because it was rush hour in front of 2 schools. And so there was like a bus full of kids just like watching me. And it was just broad daylight. And so I just had to sit there and just like pretend like I did it on purpose. Anyway, continue. Yeah, well, I'll just bring the rest of the story out. I was so embarrassed about it, Michaela. It was really bad.
Oh,
anyway, so
okay.
that's a scenario that's anxiety inducing.
So is it true?
Is that yes.
Is that feeling of anxious true?
Like, I don't know the right answer to this.
Well, your example really threw me for a loop.
Oh, sorry.
I'm being honest.
I couldn't think of a full
I'm thinking
scenario.
more so like if you woke up in the morning and you're like, oh my gosh, Michaela hates me.
Okay, we could go down this road.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're spending the entire morning driving to our workout.
Okay.
And you're like, Michaela hates me. Michaela hates me. She's done with me. She said goodbye weirdly last night. She can't stand me. She wants to quit.
Oh, yeah, what a mood.
But is that true?
No.
Can you say that statement's true?
I cannot say that statement. But
yeah,
that's really hard to do.
Can you know it to be 100% true?
No.
No?
I hope not.
How do you react when you think about that thought?
About it being true or it being not true? Or just the thought in general?
Well, when you break it down.
So like,
do I hate you? Can you believe that I 100% hate you?
No, I can't.
How do you feel when you break that down?
I would feel very hurt that you would hate me, but then I would feel like a weird, like, discomfort.
We're going 3 out of 6 here.
Discomfort about the fact that I thought that you wouldn't like me, because as soon as I would see you, I would be like, no, what am I doing? She likes me.
Yeah. So then what happens when you believe that thought?
Which thought? Like if I believe the Michaela hates me, I'm withdrawing from you. I'm going to stop putting in effort into our conversation. I'm going to stop reaching out because I'm going to be like, she doesn't want to hear from me.
Yeah.
But if I know that that's not true, I'm still going to like reach out and talk to you to try and like get you to convince me that you still like me.
Okay, but then, so backtrack to that first statement.
Okay,
right?
I'm going to withdraw.
But then, who would you be without the thought?
Just by myself, lonely.
Without the thought?
Oh, yeah, okay, no, I understand. This is really difficult.
I love this activity. Who would you be without that thought?
Just me.
Without the withdrawing, though. You would be confident.
Okay,
You would be secure.
Yes.
You would be this.
Yeah.
And so, it's a really poor example of our conversation.
I'm sorry, you guys.
But when you break it down, like, is it true?
Yeah.
Can you guarantee it to be true? What happens when you feel that?
Yeah.
It's just a way to tap into your emotions
just
in that
breaking
moment
down the anxiety.
and bring you back to that kind of self-awareness in the moment mindset.
Right.
So you're not out here in space world being like, Michaela hates me and she's going to burn down my house and never speak to me again and she wants to leave the podcast, blah, 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 blah.
Okay, yeah, it's just kind of getting back to that root issue of that insecurity, kind of.
It's taking yourself in. It's being like, I need a minute.
Yeah.
A good thing that helps to calm your nerves and stuff is doing some breath work. Right?
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. 10 deep inhales, 10 seconds in, 5 seconds hold, 10 seconds out.
Works like a charm.
Yeah. And then if you go through those steps, is it true? Yes, no. Can I guarantee 100% to be true?
Yeah.
Yes, no.
And that's really tricky because a lot of the times, like, if I was to go through that in a situation where I'm like, okay, Michaela hates me, I'm gonna have my little angel and my little devil. And my little devil is gonna be like, yeah, she hates you, like, you don't even know. And then my little angel is just gonna be like cowering over here, like, no, I think she loves you. And so it's gonna be really difficult for me to, like, and I guess that's probably the importance of this, is like convincing your little devil guy, like, no, she does actually like me. This isn't true. I'm making this up. I read into her message too much. She doesn't hate me. It's okay that she didn't put 3 exclamation points. She only used 1. That's fine. Because that's a thing that I do. Not with you.
Oh,
just in general. Just with everyone.
3 exclamation marks.
3 means I love you.
Yeah. What's that text code? 143?
Yeah. Because ILOVE.
Yeah,
Why I love you.
Yeah.
I love you.
Oh, good. Good.
Okay, that's fun. That's good things to do.
And then so, and there's actually, again, in this book too, this chapter just came up at the perfect time. I just highlighted it, sticky note, and I was like, I am stoked about this.
Yeah.
So another thing that it talks about is like emotion, and so long story short, emotions are basically only meant to be felt in your body for 6 seconds.
Really?
And they're supposed to pass through and everything.
Like even happiness.
You feel it, you let it go, and it moves on.
So what do you do for the rest of the time?
You become a robot. No.
No, because like I feel like I'm always feeling. Like I feel like when I'm not feeling, there's a bigger issue at hand, you know?
Yeah, but not feeling doesn't necessarily mean like
if you're just
you go from
content.
happiness to content to gratitude.
Right.
Those are 3 different
Okay.
things,
Yeah.
but they're just passing through you.
Okay.
Going on.
Okay.
When we like hold on to it longer, you resist
Right.
the emotion passing through, which prevents like the movement through the body. So, and we can talk about energy again in this statement. For example, anxiety, right? When you're not feeling anxiety, you're not letting it pass through your body. You're gonna hold it into your shoulders.
Yeah.
Your shoulders are gonna get tense.
Yeah.
The tension is gonna restrict blood flow.
Yeah.
That's gonna cause disease because your cells are gonna die.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of like that comes up that you can see in your body, and so that's why doing something like this, like the exercise to practice breaking it down step by step, taking a breath, rationalizing everything, it lets everything go. So then your shoulders are not at your ears, you're not wearing them like earrings.
Yeah.
They're where they're supposed to be.
Right.
Your heart rate is where it's supposed to be.
Yes.
And you can think rationally.
Very cool. Very cool. I really needed that on Monday. Because I literally.
But you have the awareness though to recognize, like.
I know, and see that's the thing. Because I wanted to tell this story because I was self-aware enough to know, wow, I'm very embarrassed. That was very embarrassing. But then I was like, okay, I'm embarrassed. This sucks. Whatever. Pretend like you're searching for directions, and then turn around and just get out of here. And so then. And so then I did that.
I've all been there though.
And then I like turned down a way, and then I had to like turn down another way, and then I had to get back onto the road so that I could get to my final destination. And then Siri, like my maps, was telling me, she was like, turn right on your next road or whatever. But it wasn't a road. Like it was less of a road than what I had just turned onto. And it was blocked off by barricades, and I was like, Siri, that's not a road. And then I got like mad because I couldn't get there. And so I called Bryce and I was like, I can't get here. And he was like,
Perception
okay.
of violation, injustice, or frustration.
Yeah. And so I just like, I went from 0 to 100 just because I was embarrassed that I turned down the wrong road and I couldn't get to this place. And it was just like ridiculous. I was so mad.
This mic.
And then I like got there and I was like all grouchy about it. And then I was gonna ask for like a tour of the job site, but then I couldn't because I was just like, and the sun was so in my eyes. And I was just like flustered and overwhelmed and just like, and it was just because I turned down the wrong street and got embarrassed. And so then I dropped off the backpack and then I turned around and I just like sat in my car and I was just like, okay, you're fine. You can make it home. You survived. You need to chill out.
Yeah?
Yeah, so I thought it would fit really well with this episode because it was just like 0 to 100 just because I felt embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
And it was totally uncalled for,
Mm-hmm.
but that's what happened. So
I'm trying to say, is that more, emotional regulation or self-awareness? I guess it's both, right?
Yeah.
Because if you were suddenly like, oh, this stupid phone, like this isn't my fault, this isn't whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
because
it's
I
your
got
fault.
defensive.
And
And I'm like, why am I getting defensive? Like I just can't get here. And I was getting really snappy with Bryce and he was just trying to help me out. And then I was like, I'm south of the job site. And he's like, oh, what? That doesn't mean. I'm like, I don't know where I am. I can't tell you where I am. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty fun for everyone involved.
Oh, that sounds like a hoot.
Yeah, it was a blast. And then I came home and I slept for 6 hours. And then I felt a lot better.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Was it the day before? When did you have an anxiety attack during the work?
Oh, that morning. Yeah. Yeah, it was also that morning. I was having a great day.
He was thriving on Monday. Oh,
It was a real Monday.
It was Mondayest of Mondays.
It was the Mondayest of Mondays. But
Okay.
anyway.
Well, so that kind of is a nice leeway into the next point of emotions and self-awareness that I want to talk about.
Okay.
Is there's 4 different types of emotional expressions.
Ooh, okay.
And so the first one is volatility.
Check.
Yeah. So basically that's the tendency to blame everything. It's a very extreme way of expressing emotions.
Yeah, I do that a lot when I get embarrassed.
You also tend to do this.
Oh.
Number 2 is suppression.
Check.
Which is like you try to rationalize challenging situations
Yeah.
and kind of swallow it and not necessarily think about it.
Yeah.
Third type is sensitivity. Sensitive people tend to have free expression and they also tend to take on other people's emotional energies to the point that it affects them.
Right. Yep.
And then fluidity.
Check.
You're all for it.
I'm 3 for 3.
Fluidity is emotions are felt very deeply and quickly,
Oh.
and then they're out. And these people tend to give off a very calm demeanor.
So is that you then?
I guess so. Most of the time, I'm either volatile or I'm fluid.
Yeah.
I think
I would agree with that, definitely.
I tend to go either or.
I know that I'm definitely not fluid.
Mm-hmm. People can go through each version, like expression, as like the day goes on.
Right.
For example, your blood sugar's getting really low and you're getting hangry.
Yeah.
You're probably going to be a little more volatile.
Yeah.
Volatile.
Volatile.
But and so I'm saying this because once you can like stop yourself in your tracks and recognize how you're reacting,
Yeah.
you're gonna be like, oh, that I'm suppressing that. Why am I suppressing that? Well, let's take a deep breath. Like, let's explore it.
Okay.
And then you can actually process it, move on, and you're not gonna be holding like grudges, and you're not gonna be holding extra tension, and you're not gonna be carrying any extra baggage.
Yeah, you're not stuck on it.
You're able to feel like you will feel lighter.
Right.
And
just like freer.
Yeah, less stress.
Like light on your feet, just like.
Mm-hmm. And you'll be able to then kind of change your mindset to more of an optimistic mindset,
Right.
rather than being hung up on this like ball and chain of frustration.
Is this something you can do like every time you feel a strong emotion? Like a strong emotional reaction to something?
When you're holding on to it.
Okay.
More so. No, but like you can be fluid.
Yeah.
And feel everything like so deeply. Like I can feel anger.
Yeah.
To my core.
Yeah.
But if it lasts longer than 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Which it does.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say more realistically, if it lasts longer than 5-10 minutes.
Right.
And if I haven't let it go, then that's when you would say like, take it inward, explore it.
Right. Kind of
Why am I
figure it
so
out.
angry about this? What has triggered me that is causing this?
Okay.
And then you can think back to the different like core beliefs that you developed as a kid.
Right.
I'll pull this up too, so like we can like actually reflect on those
Yeah.
a little bit better.
Do you have any more fun Judge Your Neighbor's exercises? 'Cause I rocked it. Have I rocked it? I mean, not so much.
You just think so deeply. I'm like, okay, not what I was expecting from you.
And that's the thing, like, even because I read this thing when I was doing research for this, that being too self-aware is also an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you're over-analyzing and over-processing all of these things that are really just surface level.
But hypothetically, if you were really self-aware, you would understand that you're overanalyzing.
Oh, I do. I do. I'm self-aware to the max, baby.
Mm-hmm. Well, so that's the question then. Like, do you think this does more has more positive effect or more negative effect on like mental health, the mental health crisis?
I think it has a positive effect because I think
Mhm.
understanding what you're feeling and why
Mm-hmm.
is huge. And I understand that that's not something that everyone can do and that it's a very difficult skill to kind of build. And I know that I've been working on it for 2 years, like directly,
Mm-hmm.
so that I can like stop bottling up all my emotions and all of my feelings and kind of share that with the class, because it's not fair for me to just be mad and moody and grouchy.
Well, it just kills you.
Exactly, it's not fun.
Like, it's not doing anything for you other than holding tension and killing cells. And
I get such bad migraines
Mhm.
from how tight my TMJ is, from clenching my teeth all the time, from like biting my tongue essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm going to show I'm going to say some more self-check-in techniques
Okay,
about
okay.
that, where you can see where you're physically holding
yeah,
everything. I'm going to read.
okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna read.
I'm going to read.
Okay.
Read you guys a
Out
little
loud or
story
just in your
time.
head? Michaela just sits here for 40 minutes just reading her textbook to herself, not even out loud.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Little stinker.
All right. So now some of the core beliefs that this book talks about is, well, the first one is like, I'm insignificant, right? And so it's like when your caregivers don't allow you to explore the world with a reasonable amount of freedom, you tend to think that you don't have the autonomy to make your own opinions and judgments and trials and errors and stuff. And so you might carry that into adulthood
Right.
by belittling yourself, by dulling yourself down, by
Yeah.
Tune into last week's episode.
Literally.
It's not always just your caregivers too, though. It's like any sort of like adult figure that you are around
Mhm.
growing up, or lack of.
Oh
Right?
yeah,
There's a lot that
100%.
can be that.
Yeah.
Teachers, babysitters, yada yada yada. It's
Yeah.
not just mom and dad
Yeah.
per se. But anyway, so this might these people might mask it to use or to hide, anger. It can inhibit creativity. It can inhibit motivation,
Right.
and willpower.
Yeah.
Right?
So, with that, that's kind of how I felt in high school.
Okay.
Was I had no autonomy. I wasn't allowed to do the things that I wanted to do. I feel like part of that was self-inflicted because I just wouldn't ask because I felt like the answer was always going to be no.
Mm-hmm.
So then, to kind of create my own autonomy, I moved to the other side of the country.
Okay.
Is that, I don't even know where I'm gonna go with this, but like, is that something that is common with that sort of feeling, or is that just like running away from your issues? I had a clear question with this, and I cannot remember what it is.
No, I think you're on something. I kind of understand what you're saying. I think some people tend to over-exaggerate the exact opposite
Right.
to try to combat it, right?
Yeah.
You see it a lot with people who grew up like highly religious
Yeah.
and then go full party animal.
Yep.
Like all the drugs, all the alcohol.
Yeah.
It's like the over
Indulgence.
yeah, or to counteract or
Overcorrection.
overcorrection
Yeah.
to what you knew
Right.
as the biggest, like, F you, mom kind of attitude.
It wasn't allowed for so long, and now you're like, oh my gosh, I can have all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so when you're grocery shopping, say, for yourself, right?
Right.
And there's only carrot sticks in the house,
Yeah.
and all you want is a chocolate bar.
Yeah.
When you have the autonomy to go to the grocery store,
And buy a chocolate bar.
you're going to overindulge
Yeah.
and get that chocolate bar.
Yeah. Not saying that eating chocolate is bad, it's just an example.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, you're going to buy all of it, you're going to have 20 pounds of chocolate in one sitting.
Yeah. And it's just going to make you feel like crap.
Because there's energy tied to food, and all of that can bring on emotions. And there actually is a lot of, when people are going through detoxes, and nutritionally and otherwise, there are a lot of emotions, like uncomfortable emotions that resurface.
Right.
Which is kind of what causes a lot of relapse in any sort of addiction.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because then it gets hard again. Things get hard if you don't work through them properly. And then there's studies tied to environment and memory and everything like that.
Okay.
So, for example, you get out of rehab.
Yeah.
You go back to the same house you were lived in before you went to rehab.
Right.
They are more likely to relapse.
Yes.
I need to find that study.
It has all the triggers and everything that was like, it's, I kind of
environmental memories.
Yeah. This is not the same, but also the same. It's not the same at all. What am I doing? When I lived in Halifax, I would move there and I would be this person where everything had a home, everything was organized, everything was clean, everything was where I wanted. But as soon as I would come back to my, like, childhood house, I would revert back immediately to how I was when I was growing there.
And that's, a lot of people do that, and a lot of people tend to find it, right? So, for example, say your childhood home had some rough memories, right?
Yeah.
And you don't really want to be around them too much.
Yeah.
And then you're driving with your partner, you're going there for Christmas dinner, hang out with your parents and your family and whatnot.
Yeah.
And immediately once you park, you feel your jaw clenching.
Right.
That's the, like, physical, emotional response to being in that house, because you haven't processed what you feel about that house, because you're blocking it out.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of addiction is avoidance of feeling.
Right.
I'm not gonna say all, but a lot.
It numbs.
It comes from that.
Yeah.
A lot of it comes from a method of numbing.
Yeah.
Again, whether it's social media, whether it's heroin, whether it's food, whether it's, I don't know, overindulgence in, like, sleep.
Yeah.
For example,
you just sleep all
you're
the time.
doing something to avoid
something else.
A difficult emotion.
Yeah.
A person. It's an avoidance technique. And then it becomes an actual craving and addiction and whatnot. And so it's really shitty.
Yeah.
And you really have to face it head on if you want to achieve or move on from that cycle.
Definitely.
And that includes tensing your jaw.
Yep.
It's the most minor form of it, but tensing your jaw as you're arriving to X family gathering. And it actually is one of the more common places that people do feel a lot of tension is family related tension.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of I would agree with that.
It's a very, very common scenario
definitely.
for that emotion.
Okay, anyway, you have so many more examples.
Yes, if we want to talk through all of them.
This might be a long episode. Buckle up.
Yeah. Buckle up, Buttercup. No.
Oh my gosh.
Another example that it talks about is I'm not good enough.
Okay.
Right? And so it's like, that's mostly comes from when you're not taught a healthy way of competing.
Okay. Like competing,
like you don't
competitively.
Well, yeah, like you don't measure up to your siblings, your peers, your whatever, right? Everything is like, oh, you're not good enough. Oh, well, so and so got this grade. Why did you get this grade? If you make everything a competition, that's not healthy competition, right?
Yes.
I'm
with you now.
And as a personal opinion, I do think there is some problems with the participation ribbon era.
Yeah.
As far as that, it's not actually promoting any intrinsic motivation to do good.
No.
It makes everyone feel comfortable and it feels nice and whatnot in the moment. But for example, if you're in a classroom setting and you're like, okay, top 3 kids are gonna get this candy, right? If you get to that and you do your best and you work really hard and you're not top 3 but you get candy anyways, just a different smaller
then
candy,
you're not gonna work hard because you know you're just gonna get it no matter what you do.
You're gonna get something.
Yeah.
For just showing up.
And then life is going to like kick you right in the ass.
Exactly. But anyway, so with the core belief of like I'm not good enough, as adults it shows up as like harsh comparisons, pretty much what it says, I'm not good enough.
Yeah, like belittling yourself.
Yeah. And you just experience a lot of dissatisfaction.
Like, low self-confidence, low.
Yeah. Nothing you can do is good. Nothing you can do is right.
So why even try?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm not lovable is another one. And that comes from a lot of parents who don't express a healthy version of love.
Yeah.
You can see it in a lot of abuse kind of scenarios.
Right, yeah.
And a lot of people who come from that develop feelings of like self-hatred and
just low self-value kind of.
Yeah, low self-esteem. Pretty much what self-hatred is.
Yeah.
And then that's where you kind of tend to find they tend to will often seek out the same relationships that was modeled them of love.
Right.
Which is why the toxic cycle continues.
Oh, yeah.
Because you find comfort in what you know, even though you know it's not a good scenario.
Okay, I find that very interesting because this person that I know, I'm going to try and keep this as anonymous as possible.
Mm-hmm.
She was in this relationship who was like abusive, I guess. I don't know to what extent or what that entails.
Mm-hmm.
But her mom like loved that guy.
Mm.
Like loved him so much. Was like, oh my gosh, this is the man for you. This is like so perfect. And so she was like, that's really interesting because she is very much the I'm not lovable or like I'm unloved because her mom had shown to her like she had never like valued her kid pretty much. And so this girl was like, instead of staying in that toxic abusive relationship, she then went out and found someone who is the complete opposite. And so I find it very interesting that that's something that they would, and I don't know for her situation what that would have played into, but like I don't know, just to maybe have that self-awareness to like recognize that this is still toxic and abusive. I don't deserve this. I deserve this.
Yeah,
which is incredible.
Well, and that's where the statement of like we accept the love we think we deserve.
Yeah,
that's where that whole concept comes from.
Yeah,
is the breaking of cycles, and if you only know this one thing, you're only going to strive for this one thing.
Right.
If you know nothing more, then the sky isn't the limit.
Exactly.
That's what I've peaked.
Well, yeah, because you believe that's only the kind of love that you can get. Yeah.
Ooh, this one might strike a nerve with you. There's something wrong with me.
Oh. Is that where my hypochondria comes from?
Yeah, so that kind of comes more so from parents who, and I'm not saying this is necessarily parents, but the outcome of the adult is pretty spot on. If I read this, I was like, okay.
I'm really intrigued.
Who have, like, idealized versions of their children.
Okay.
Right? Like, you have a kid, you're so excited. I think a lot of older children.
Yes.
Because I feel this in some forms as well.
And I would agree with Bryce as well.
You have this, like, idealized, like, this is my kid. They're going to achieve this, for example, right? Like, my kid's going to be a world-renowned doctor, right? Yeah. I don't want to be a doctor. So you would come out with this expectation that you have to achieve this status.
Right.
Right? And oftentimes in adulthood, this shows up as people-pleasing.
Oh, spicy. No one knows it's not me.
Perfectionists and people-pleasers is the two things because you are trying so hard to be this, on this pedestal that you were raised like that you should be.
Yeah.
You should achieve these types of grades. You should hang around these types of people. You should end up in this type of career. You're going to have this type of life.
Yeah.
Because that's what they expect for a
Oh
lot of older children, I would.
And yeah, what's what I'm feeling is that I need to take care of people. That's the pedestal that I feel like I need to put on. I need to be this epic caretaker who has their shit together. And like, oh, I'll take care of people, but like, not well. And definitely not with all my shit together. But like,
I'm having a panic attack because I'm taking care of people,
but like, heck, eat up.
Yeah. Go ahead. Dinner's ready, kids.
Literally. Oh my gosh, yeah, okay, wow.
Yeah. And so those are just some examples of some core beliefs that would then translate into these feelings that we talked about at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Shame and disappointment and anger and happiness.
Right, and all
that ties into being self-aware, because the minute you're able to like recognize and break it down, that is what self-awareness is, right?
Yeah.
And so how do you dissolve these like core beliefs? Well, the first step is to recognize.
Yeah.
Right? The second is to accept.
Yeah.
This very much sounds, we've heard it before in all the TV shows. And then the third step is investigating.
Okay.
So this is why when I'm talking with you, when you're freaking out,
What? No.
I've never heard of her.
I know. This is freaking out you're talking about.
I just think, I don't panic.
It's called pre-panic to you.
But a lot of I do tend to think, have you not noticed that I stop and I break down and I'm like, well, why?
Yeah.
Are you feeling that?
Yeah.
And that's the biggest question, to be like,
Well, and that's why I think therapy is so important, because you go to someone who's a third party, who is invested but isn't like invested.
Well, you're not seeing them every day. You don't feel any sort of pride or shame.
Yeah, you can maintain that boundary, and they're just able to be like, okay, why do you feel that? What made you think that? Why do you think that's true? And so it's really nice, because even though I do have like a very good relationship with you, to even feel the openness and the ability to be like, okay, no, this is why I feel that. And just like put down that wall and just be like, okay, and you're like, okay, so let's walk
explore
that back a little bit. Yeah.
Right. And even so, I mean, I encourage everyone, when you hear something that someone says, whether it be the news, another podcast, someone's Instagram story, and you instantly go to 100, I really encourage everyone to stop and explore, like, why did that strike a nerve so much? My go-to phrase is, if I was wrong, you wouldn't be so upset.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that an ignorant statement? Some scenarios.
Depends how you take it.
Yeah, but 9 times out of 10, there's truth to it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Like if I say, hey Journey, you need to stop people pleasing, immediately you're like crash boom, shutting down, like, oh, I know, I
felt that, even though that was an example.
Yeah. But it's that kind of really shows what you need to explore about yourself.
Yeah, it's because I know that that's something that I need to do.
Yeah.
But it's hard.
Yeah.
It's difficult. I'm struggling to do that. But like, I feel that when you say that to me, you're gonna help me, in a sense. Like, you're not just gonna like throw me to the wolves, like, figure it out on your own, bitch.
You just saw people pleasing. Get out.
Okay, bye. But is that people pleasing? I think so.
Yeah. But no, so there's like, and that comes from any statement, and it actually like, take a step back and explore.
Yeah.
Am I upset because what this person said was ignorant and abusive, and I'm not going to deal with that?
Yeah.
Or am I upset because, that struck a nerve that I haven't quite processed, I've just kind of been avoiding for
that's
whatever
what my
reason.
inner self tells me. So, I didn't like hearing that said out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really is just,
We love it.
Self-awareness really does help everything. And for me, a lot of my expression as a kid, my go-to was anger.
Yeah, very volatile.
Very volatile. And it's taken me years, like, to get to more of a fluid state. Yeah. I would say I'm 90% of my time I'm in a fluid state.
Yeah.
I'm a very passionate person, so it comes off as very volatile sometimes.
Yeah.
But I don't let it bug me as long as I used to.
Yeah.
The smallest thing would set me off as a kid. Oh my god, there was this one kid in 4th grade who my nickname was the kicker.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, he would piss me off and I'd just knock him in the shins.
Nice.
And so why my expression as a child was anger, I don't know.
Yeah.
My parents aren't particularly angry people.
No.
There was no abuse in my house growing up.
Yeah.
It was just my only way I knew how to express things at the time.
Right.
And then very much as I've grown up, it's transitioned. I think from 18. 18 is kind of when I gave up. 17 was a rough year.
As it is for most.
I hated everyone and everything. I just worked and I ate lunch alone in my car and I just avoided everyone.
Yeah.
But then once 18 hit, I moved out and I was on my own and I was finally felt like I was coming into myself.
Right.
And maybe part of it is I had these expectations for myself and I felt like I should be doing something because so-and-so wants me to do something.
Right.
But I don't actually want to do this thing. So maybe I felt stuck and maybe that's why I expressed anger.
Yeah, I would agree with that because that's how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of my... Is that people pleasing probably? If I'm like, oh, I feel like someone wants me to do that, so I should just do that anyways. You know?
Yeah.
Like people want me to behave this way, so then
Yeah.
I just need to behave that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everyone works through it, right? Because everyone wants to be... We are very social beings and we want to receive acceptance and whatnot. But if you're self-aware and if you're doing what you want to do for you, your crowd will follow with that.
Okay, yeah.
You might lose some people along the way, but that means they didn't serve you or they don't serve you anymore.
Exactly.
Right? So it's better to let them go and let them to find their crowd and their people.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
That's why oftentimes you lose friends as you grow up, right? Because you're just no longer in the same vicinity as these people all the time.
Yeah, you grow apart.
And you grow apart instead of with, right? That's why even some marriages and stuff dissolve, right?
Well, yeah, exactly.
You're at a point where you have to grow together if you're going to keep this going.
And that's kind of, like, especially with Bryce and I, because we started dating in grade 11. Mm-hmm. We're completely different people now than from grade 11. And I feel like there's been a lot of work for both of us to grow together. Mm-hmm. Like, I know there's some times where he's grown farther than me, and so I'm like, okay, I need to catch up.
Yeah.
But he's waited for me, or he's helped me, or like...
You have to want to make it work.
We've still done it together, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. But yeah.
That's super fun.
Pretty much all my main talking points that I have. I guess other than now, just to reiterate on how you can be more self-aware. The biggest one is doing self-check-ins.
Right.
A lot of meditation does provide this.
Yeah.
You start with some breath work, you calm down your anxiety,
yeah,
and then you just sit there and you just think, okay, what am I feeling? Any thought that comes up in your head,
yeah,
you try to dismiss it ideally.
Yeah.
But if it lingers, you process that. Where am I feeling this emotion?
Right.
Right? What part of my body is hurting when I'm feeling this?
Yeah.
Is okay, so that's pain. Why am I feeling pain? Is there an event that happened?
Yeah.
Like, yesterday I had the car incident. Well, now I'm feeling panic.
Yeah.
Why am I feeling panic? Because I was embarrassed.
Yeah.
Why was I embarrassed? Because that was a frustrating thing.
Yeah.
But accidents happen. I need to let that go.
Yeah.
And so a lot of it is just sitting yourself, no distractions, and really feeling the feels, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes having someone with you, or in the same room as you helps. Mm-hmm. If it's hard for you to just sit with it yourself, going to like a meditation class or a guided meditation online tends to help just let you
because
be
it's
present.
Yeah, a guided meditation, because then there's someone else leading it and you don't have to be on, essentially. Like, you don't have to be thinking so much.
Yeah, you don't get hung up on something and start spiraling and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's able to reel you back. The same reason why you go to therapy, right? Because you can sit in your room and you can talk to yourself or the wall about all of your problems.
Yeah.
But if you start spiraling, you need someone there
to draw it back in.
To draw it back in, give you techniques. How do you want to work through this?
Right.
Right? That's where the whole cliche of the therapist being like, and how does that feel? How does it make you feel?
But that's what you need to ask yourself in order to understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And I just want to bring it back to, like, the pain that you feel or like where you feel that emotion, because I found that, again, like naming my emotion and what I'm feeling and breaking it down to its root emotion helps me understand what I'm trying to process. And so a therapy trick that I learned on TikTok is just like...
I love the University of TikTok.
I know, right? Me too. I go every day. Never miss a class. And it's just like Michaela was saying, like, where are you feeling that emotion in your body? And so if you notice, okay, I'm feeling anxiety, but I feel it in my shoulders. Okay, when I feel anxiety in my shoulders, I'm tense because I'm stressed about something, because I was embarrassed or frustrated or whatever. And you're like, okay, so then you can kind of break it down to whatever root emotion that was. And so if you can kind of like, because anxiety is pretty much just like a catch-all term, and like, I don't know if that's a controversial statement. I feel like it's an umbrella term. It encompasses so many different emotions.
You can break anxiety into, you can break it down into more emotions. If like, is this fear? Is this frustration? Is this panic?
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. So to kind of like,
yeah, I get what you mean.
Like pick out an emotion or whatever from that, you can kind of be like, oh, I'm feeling this in my left lung. And I don't know whatever emotion you feel in your left lung, but like, or in your chest, or in your head, or like wherever else, it might help you identify what that emotion is better if you can kind of like, oh, when I'm sad, I feel it in my chest.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, my chest is really heavy and I'm anxious. Maybe I'm sad.
Yeah.
Why am I sad?
What are
and then
you
it helps you work back kind of.
Well, you can break down, what is sadness?
Yeah.
Sadness is the fear of loss, or the perception of loss.
Yeah.
What do you feel that you just lost?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And so I
it
think that might help. I don't know the full scope of that, because I was just watching someone's video who had gone to therapy, and that was explained to her, and then she was explaining it to us, and now I'm explaining it to you guys. So it's a fun little game of telephone. But like, yeah, maybe that might help you guys if you find that you experience this emotion in one specific spot. And so then when you're feeling anxiety or something and you're feeling a lot of emotions in that spot, you can kind of be like, oh, okay, well, this is what's causing that anxiety or whatever. Yeah.
I also want to talk about a concept quickly relating to anxiety too, that I think I've been feeling a lot, because I'm not a particularly anxious person normally. The only time I really experienced generalized anxiety was when my gut health was off.
Right.
And therefore my hormones, my neurotransmitters, everything was like, the levels were wonky.
Right.
I would go high, low blood sugar, like crazy crashes, like after eating for 30 minutes. Like it was rough. But as of lately, I've been feeling a lot of anxiety just out of nowhere.
Oh.
And so there is a concept though that not all fear is bad.
Okay.
Some fear just stems from the unknown.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
And anxiety without any reason, like, and I've fully checked in.
Yeah.
So I am painfully self-aware about everything I do now.
Yeah.
After studying psychology and nutrition.
So again,
really
it's
good.
Overanalyzing the fact that you're anxious about something.
But what's helped me let it go though, is that there is a concept of being anxious for growth.
Oh.
Like you're anxious because in anticipation of something what might be scary because you've outgrown a previous self. You're leveling up, so to speak.
Yes.
And so because I've broken it down, I'm like, there's nothing here that I can think of that is like, you aren't anxious because of this.
Yeah.
I find comfort in knowing that, okay, this could just be like a growth anxiety. Something good is about to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to buckle up for the ride and see where this takes me, because there's nothing in this immediate moment that I can address.
Oh my gosh, that's so stressful.
Well, let's break it down. Why do you feel stressed?
Because I can't control it.
But why do you feel the need to control?
Because who else is going to do it?
But the universe. Why do you need to control everything? Why do you feel like you need to take
I'm
yourself as the leader?
Oldest. That's my job. That's what I have to do.
Who put those expectations on you?
Me.
Why? Why do you have the
really good question.
Why do you have the savior complex?
I have no idea.
I want to sit with you and I want to do a meditation someday.
Oh my gosh. We'll vlog it.
I don't think that's a good. That defeats the purpose of it.
Oh, is it because I put on a persona when we videotape?
Possibly.
No, it couldn't be.
Couldn't be you. It's not her.
Oh my gosh.
That was Jubes. That wasn't Journey.
Yeah, I don't know her.
But anyway, see, like that's
Yeah.
a good example of breaking it down to
Okay,
everything.
so then what do you get to the point where I'm like, I don't know. I don't know why. Like, I know that I like to control things because I don't trust that other people are going to control them as well as me.
Mhm.
So, where do I go after that step? Of
that no one's gonna control it after you.
that no
Or
one's
which one?
like I like to control because I don't think that anyone can control it as well as me.
Why don't you think anyone can control it better than you?
That's where I'm stuck. Is that then trust issues?
Mm-hmm.
Because, or is it
you
just
don't
like
trust anyone?
because I don't feel that they're like going to take care of me as well as I could take care of myself?
That's another option.
Like,
You're answering your own question here. You just gotta keep going deeper there.
oh my gosh, I could, but it's gonna get really exposing. So we gotta just
We're gonna nip it right there.
Yeah.
We're gonna leave you to explore that on your
and
own.
yeah, I'll let you guys fill in the blank.
Yeah. We just gotta break it down, right? And on
Yeah.
this point. And then when you get to the foundational point, or the missing brick,
How do you know though?
I feel like it's just something you know.
Is it just like
When
a
you know,
click?
you know.
Yeah.
It's a gut instinct.
If you know,
right?
you know.
Once you strike that nerve and it hits hard, it's like a solid ring,
Right.
you found the gold. And you just gotta dig.
Oh my gosh.
And you can release. Because then your body will then, it's pretty much wherever you're holding the tension, your body
Yeah.
will let that go.
It'll just physically release.
right?
Oh my gosh.
To do that.
Oh my gosh, I wonder what it would release on me. Probably my back.
Well, yeah, you have a lot of back issues.
I got a lot of back issues.
Or hamstrings.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine? I'd be so bendy.
Yeah.
Okay, we gotta do that so I can
I'm-
straighten my legs.
And it's not everything, but it is tension, and tension is held for a reason, and tension is held from emotion, because everything is energy and everything blocks and blah,
Oh my
blah,
gosh,
blah, and-
that made me think of a TikTok of like, there's a stretch you can do, or like some sort of like meditation, emotional something or other. And then like once you get that spot, or you get this release in your hips, it just like emotion just like
Yeah.
right. Oh.
Because it's stored in the muscles.
Okay, I
And
kind
same
of.
thing, and when you clean up your diet, it brings up a lot of raw emotion to the foods that you were lowering your vibration with.
Right.
All the poor quality, highly processed things that you're not actually. Again, I want to do a whole episode on
Yeah, we'll do a
vibrations
big
and stuff too,
whole-
because I think
yeah,
energy
and
work
even
is
on
really
foodie stuff.
energy work just as a whole is really interesting. Like the fact
Yeah.
that people can heal with like Reiki and stuff.
Yeah,
Really interesting concept to me.
yeah.
Chakras, yada yada yada.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say shocker. I was like, no, that's not surprising at all.
No chakras. But for example, like an apple has a higher vibration than a cheeseburger,
Okay.
based off of nutrient quality, connection with the earth, grounding, oils, and yada yada yada.
Okay.
So if you just lower your vibration with a cheeseburger,
Yeah.
and then you start eating apples and stuff,
Yeah.
it cleanses the cheeseburger, and it brings up any emotions that you were using as you were choosing that food to suppress,
Oh.
as you were avoiding. Was that even English? Did that even come out as a proper sentence?
I don't know. I'm thinking so hard right now.
Yeah. Basically,
Yeah.
whatever emotional
I get
state.
what you're trying to say.
And this is coming from someone who was like an insane emotional eater and still can be.
Mm-hmm.
I just now know that I like. This is actually really funny too to come across, or to be able to say out loud. I crave coconut cream chocolate mousse now when I'm depressed
Okay.
because coconut
Yeah.
is good for your brain.
Okay.
It helps your brain health, has omegas and all that fun stuff.
Okay.
And cocoa powder,
Yeah.
like just
Like just cocoa powder.
cocoa powder, is a serotonin booster.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And so the brain health and the serotonin booster, those are two things that I like absolutely crave when I'm having like a really rough day, or just dark chocolate or something. I'm a big chocolate fan.
Yeah.
Because, and I'm able to break it down. Like, I specifically want coconut cream chocolate mousse because I want the coconut for the healthy fats for my brain health, and then I want the cocoa powder for my serotonin levels.
Yeah.
And it's calming.
Wild.
Yeah.
Chocolate is not something I crave.
No.
It's okay, we've had this conversation. It's apple juice and chicken nuggets. And like for a while I was craving like donuts.
Okay.
Not healthy.
But so there's a concept of allergy addiction too.
Oh.
People crave it because they know it's not necessarily like different types of cravings, right? You crave something because it's going to it's like an addiction, and it suppresses it, and it boosts your serotonin. Like a lot of
it's something I've never been allowed to have.
Mm-hmm.
And so now that I was having them, I'm like, I want a donut.
Mm-hmm.
But another example that's maybe a bit better. You might not know this. Why did I all of a sudden start craving salmon?
Because
do you think?
Either protein or healthy fat deficiencies typically.
Ooh.
When my gut health was bad too, my body was craving salmon.
Yeah.
Very regularly.
Yeah.
Salmon and peanut butter actually, which are two things that when I did my live blood cell analysis, broke down on the paper and whatnot, were two of the foods that were like really good for me because of based off of my blood and where everything was leveled
what
out.
you needed.
But those are two things that I craved regularly.
Oh my goodness.
Peanut butter and salmon. So you're probably looking for more of like the healthy fat omegas in your system because you're not achieving them through avocados, coconut.
My dad's gonna love that you said that because he has this omega 369 oil that that he would always put on food. He would just like drizzle it. We'd just have like plain rice, plain hamburger and peas, and he would drizzle this oil on his rice to get his omega fatty acids, and like it's probably pretty good. We call it ola oil, and I hated it. I detested it. I would never eat it.
What is that?
It's gross. I don't want oily rice.
Well, and you can get it other ways though too. You can get it with like hemp seed stuff.
Yeah.
You said 369 and immediately I had 369. Damn, you fat. I'm about to get low.
That's so not me. I was thinking.
I'm hearing you talk about rice and I'm going.
I said it and I went. The 369 monkey in the wine snap snap.
I have no idea what that is.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
my friend did dance to it.
Low.
We'll post the names in the description. Okay.
That's good. No, but you can achieve omegas through other things, right? Through fish is your own. Cod liver oil is another really one that is promoted for that. Hemp seed oil, hemp seeds as its own. Flaxseed oil is my favorite.
Okay.
For supplementary for omegas and stuff.
Yeah.
I like it better than a lot of fish oils because with fish oils you have to be very careful of lead and mercury contents in it.
Yeah.
And that's why some fish oils now they'll extract it from like anchovies because they are smaller fish and they won't absorb as much lead, mercury, whatnot. Whereas larger fish, more common fish, more farmed versus wild, and especially farmed fish, will absorb, like the most common, it's like tuna, salmon, whatnot. Yeah. They'll absorb higher levels because of it's stored in their fats. Oh. And their bodies won't break it down and stuff.
So where are they absorbing it from?
From heavy metal runoff into the oceans.
Oh, okay.
So they're basically just marinating in them, and because it's like a healthy fats, they're storing it.
We're then eating it.
And then we're digesting the fats because it's trapped in the fats. It's not water-based, so it can't just like flush out the same way. Mm-hmm. And that's where that comes from. So when you're looking for your fish oils, look for quality because then you might be ingesting more heavy metals than necessary.
Yeah.
It is hard to avoid them altogether.
100%.
With mining, with extraction, with runoff and whatnot, it is, it's just in our waterways now and we can't remove it. But doing things like using water filters and buying high quality fish, and is jump back to gain omegas from some plant options such as flax,
right, and
versus fish like cod liver oil and whatnot.
Yeah,
it might be better because there's just less chance of that high mercury, lead, heavy metal poisoning that you have, that your body
I'm
then
totally
has to
gonna
store.
check this out and see what that oil's from. If it's fishy, maybe my family's just mercury poisoning, and that's why everything hurts their bellies.
It's not quite how that works, but yeah, but it could. But no, but it could though. Like if you grow up on, say, well water that you didn't know had a leak in it or a leach in it, and you're actually ingesting heavy metals from well water that you're not filtering properly, and then you're eating these fish that blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Like you'd be microdosing. Your body does its best to flush it out, but having a high like fat content on your person as well also doesn't help because it's stored in there.
Right.
And your liver can't process it out. Yeah. So not to have a little doomsday talk, but to be self-aware, that's like could be reasonable.
Be aware of what you're eating and what you're feeling when you're eating it.
And I guess just a disclaimer, I'm not a professional as of yet. I don't have a license to give medical advice
not
or anything.
Professionals.
But I'm just a health enthusiast, and I very much enjoy health and wellness, and
you do know a lot.
Yeah, I'm studying it. I don't
Yeah, you do. And I want to just, I'm just really proud of myself and Michaela, because I always used to get these weird like bumps in my fingernails. There'd be like a little divot, like kind of when you like get it in between like a door or whatever. I don't have those for the first time ever in my whole entire life. Yeah. And it's just so weird because I was like realizing it the other day, because I would always like play with them. They were always on my ring fingers. Mm-hmm. And I would always just play with them. And I was doing that the other day, and I was like, I have no bumps.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have been biting my nails again too, and so the fact that I've been biting my nails again and my anxiety is higher, I'm like, oh no, my gut health is back off again. So I need to.
Let's go do a live blood analysis.
Yeah, I need to get another live blood analysis done, and I need to possibly do just another colon cleanse or something to just kind of reset, because I didn't do any sort of cleanse this year, and I'm really feeling it now.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But yeah, self-awareness, guys. It bittersweet.
Yeah.
I feel like we should cut it off here, because otherwise we're gonna go into 200 other topics that aren't what we're supposed to be talking about.
Fair enough. Before we go, instead of doing just like a fun segment or whatever, one of my friends sent me a couple of pages from a book that she was reading. It's called The Midnight Library by Matt Haig, I think. It's apparently #1 international bestseller. It looks really good, and so I just kind of want to read. She sent me just like a page, which I think is like a chapter. And so I just wanted to read it to you guys, because I read it and I was like, okay, this is something that should be shared to everyone. So this is not my words, these are Matt's. And so it's titled, A Thing I Have Learned, written by nobody who has been everybody. It is easy to mourn the lives we aren't living. Easy to wish we'd developed other talents, said yes to different offers. Easy to wish we'd worked harder, loved better, handled our finances more astutely, been more popular, stayed in the band, gone to Australia, said yes to the coffee, or done more bloody yoga. It takes no effort to miss the friends we didn't make, and the work we didn't do, and the people we didn't marry, and the children we didn't have. It is not difficult to see yourself through the lens of other people, and to wish you were all the different kaleidoscopic versions of you they wanted you to be. It is easy to regret, and keep regretting ad infinitum, until our time runs out. But it is not the lives we regret not living that are the real problem. It is the regret itself. It's the regret that makes us shrivel and wither and feel like our own and other people's worst enemy. We can't tell if any of those other versions would have been better or worse. Those lives are happening, it is true, but you are happening as well, and that is the happening we have to focus on. Of course, we can't visit every place or meet every person or do every job, yet most of what we'd feel in any life is still available. We don't have to play every game to know what winning feels like. We don't have to hear every piece of music in the world to understand music. We don't have to have tried every variety of grape from every vineyard to know the pleasure of wine. Love and laughter and fear and pain are universal currencies. We just have to close our eyes and savor the taste of the drink in front of us and listen to the song as it plays. We are as completely and utterly alive as we are in any other life and have access to the same emotional spectrum. We only need to be one person. We only need to feel one existence. We don't have to do everything in order to be everything, because we are already infinite. While we are alive, we always contain a future of multifarious possibility. So let's be kind to the people in our own existence. Let's occasionally look up from the spot in which we are, because wherever we happen to be standing, the sky above goes on forever. Yesterday I knew I had no future, and that it was impossible for me to accept my life as it is now. And yet today, that same messy life seems full of hope, potential. The impossible, I suppose, happens via living. Will my life be miraculously free from pain, despair, grief, heartbreak, hardship, loneliness, depression? No. But do I want to live? Yes. Yes. 1,000 times yes.
It's beautiful.
And I just want to share that with you guys because it really struck a nerve, and I thought it was absolutely beautiful.
It's really beautiful.
And it's really reaffirming that even though life can suck sometimes, it's still worth living.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the love, guys.
Yes.
If you like what we're doing and you want to support us, subscribing, liking, sharing, rating, reviewing,
Yeah.
all of that helps us big time. Go check out our website, get us boosted up boost our SEO, please.
Comment on our YouTube videos, comment on our Instagram post, share them on your stories.
We are very active on Instagram, so if you want
Yes.
to follow us there, we are sometimes Tabata Slaps.
Yes.
My personal is Mac Joy,
And it's Jubes.
and is that all the key points?
I think so.
All
Follow
right.
us on TikTok and Instagram and our website and our YouTube.
Yeah, we post some random stuff on Instagram.
Yeah.
And if you know I'm very mommy, you know I'm very mommy, and make your I'm very mommy TikTok.
This other episode is literally just, I'm very mommy. Just ties it all together.
Awesome. Well,
All right.
yeah, thank you for the love, guys.
Thank you guys, we love you.
Ta-ta for now.
Bye.
Bye.